1. Installation of wall cabinets. Before we install the full set of kitchen cabinets, let us take a look at demonstration for the single wall cabinets and the single base cabinets. In the drawing, you can see the hoisting height specified for the wall cabinet. When we install a wall cabinet, the height from floor should be hoisting height plus height of wall cabinet. Here, we set 1500 mm as hoisting height to calculate and draw the line for wall cabinet. After determining the height for the wall cabinet, next is to set down the width for wall cabinets. Next, we can set down the line for stationary seat, which is 60 mm down forward from the line for wall cabinet. Use some horizontal line or subject as benchmark to draw a parallel line for midpoint line of stationary seat. The distance between the side of the stationary seat and that of the wall cabinet is 20 mm. Leave space for the side panel. Put the stationary seat at horizontal line and mark the center with pencil. After positioning the stationary seat, drill holes on the specified location with percussive drill. Be careful not to drill at high speed to avoid cracking on the tiles. Then insert the anchors and secure the hook with wood bolts. Now, get out the hook of the wall cabinet. Note that stationary hook has two holes on the front side. The hole on top is used for adjusting the height, and the hole beneath it is used for securing the cabinet body. Mount the wall cabinet on the hook and fasten the cabinet with screws. Afterwards, adjust the stationary hook. Use the tape to measure and adjust the level of the cabinet by the reference line. Use the same method to install the next wall cabinet. After installation, use the joining bolts to combine the wall cabinets together. In the end, adjust the door panels. Installation of wall cabinets in kitchen when the height of the ceiling is below 2.3 meters. The wall cabinet can be installed very close to the ceiling. Take some horizontal line or subject as benchmark and use tape to check the level of the ceiling. If the ceiling is not leveled, use the shortest distance as reference. Pay attention to the thickness of top valance when positioning the stationary seat and mark the line. The thickness of the top valance normally is 35 mm. Position the center point for the stationary seat by using tape to measure from the ceiling to 95 mm downward and mark the line. Please refer to the installation method of the wall cabinets for positioning stationary seat, drilling holes, and installation of the wall cabinet. Installation of wall cabinets. 1. The height of the positioning line for stationary hook of the wall cabinet is equal to the height of the wall cabinet plus the hoisting height, and then to deduct 60 mm. 2. To install wall cabinet with top filler and top valance, the position line for stationary hook is equal to the height that the wall height deducts the height for top filler, top valance, and 60 mm. 3. In case the distance between the floor and the ceiling is approximately 2.3 meters, mark the line for stationary hook downwards from the ceiling for 95 mm and mark the line. 4. No matter whether the hoisting height is specified on the drawings, it is required to communicate with the customer to confirm. 2. Installation of base cabinets. After installing the cabinet feet seat, use tape to check the level of the floor. If the floor is not leveled properly, use the shortest distance for positioning. For domestic market, the height of the base cabinet is equal to the height of the cabinet body 680 mm plus the height of kickboard 110 mm. Mark the positioning line for the cabinet height at a minimum distance. Then place the benchmark base cabinet at its designated position. Use some horizontal line or subject as benchmark to measure the level of the back of the base cabinet. Level the back of the base cabinet and place it against the wall. Adjust the front feet to make the cabinet flat. Combination of the base cabinet. Use L-type as an example. 1. No matter whether the kitchen cabinet has one side or two sides to be leaned against the wall, we should take the cabinet against the wall as benchmark. 2. While measuring obstacles, pay attention that the measuring direction should be the same as the marking direction. 3. Horizontal ruler can be used for leveling the kitchen cabinet horizontally. 4. It is forbidden to use bolts to join the cabinet bodies. For cabinet connection, transalpine screw is acceptable to be used. 3. Assembly of full set kitchen cabinets. First of all, install the wall cabinet. On spot, check all positions for water supply, power and gas supply. Mark the positioning line for the stationary seat by referring to the installation of single wall cabinet. Communicate with the customer to determine whether the pipes of water, gas, and electric cables are passing across the marked lines or opening on the obstacles to let them go. After assuring there are no pipes or cables passing through, we can start drilling holes and installing mounting parts. Set down the benchmark cabinet. Then we can open the hole for the gas gauge. After opening the hole, install the benchmark cabinet and fasten it. Adjust the level of the cabinet. Put the adjoining wall cabinets in place according to the drawing's instructions and leave space for the range hoods. Use some horizontal line or subject as benchmark to adjust level for all cabinet bodies. Then open the hole for the microwave socket. Mark the line for the socket hole on the back panel and use the jigsaw to cut along the marked line. Mount the wall cabinet and level it. Connect them with jointing bolts. There are two methods to install a wall cabinet: stationary hook or nail. It depends on whether the wall is solid or not to adopt the stationary hook or nail. In case of nailing to install, the reinforcement panel is made of the same material as the cabinet body. Mark the line on the back panel and at the marked line drill 4 holes on back panel. Use percussive drill to enlarge holes. Install expansion plugs and secure with wood screws. Installation of shelves. Install the T-supports in the hole of the shelf and measure the hole position of the T-supports with tape. Mark the T-supports positioning line on the wall, then drill holes and secure it. Installation of glass shelf. Please refer to installation of shelves. Firstly, mark the positioning line and drill holes. Fix glass clamp and put the sticker on it. Place the glass in the middle of the clamp and secure the glass with screws on the bottom. Install the range hood in design place in order to recognize the midpoint for the stove after installation of the countertop. Installation of base cabinets. Use shape L as an example. First of all, we need to check out the level of the floor. If the floor is not leveled, set down the height line for the base cabinet at the minimum distance with reference to the installation of single base cabinet. For shape L kitchen cabinet, use the corner base cabinet as benchmark in case both sides not leaning against the walls. Place the corner cabinet at the corner and use some horizontal line or subject as benchmark to adjust the level of the cabinet body. After adjusting the benchmark basement cabinet, place and adjust the adjoining corner cabinet. Place the adjoining cabinets in side A according to drawing instructions and adjust their levels. Then we can cut the openings for water meter and meter pipe on the sink cabinet of side B. Use some horizontal line or subject as benchmark and measure the dimensions accurately. Mark the line on the side panels. Use jigsaw to cut along the line. When the installation of base cabinet is completed, use electric drill and 8mm drill bit to drill holes. Joint the cabinets with jointing bolts. In the end, adjust all base cabinets, wall cabinets, and door panels. The door panels can be adjusted in 3 directions, but mainly adjusted through the 2 holes on top of the hinges in order to make the bottom of the door panels level with the bottom panels of the cabinets, to ensure the surface is flat and the seam clearances are even. Afterwards, clean up the bottom of the cabinet with broom and insert the kick clamp around the feet to install the kick boards. Installation of countertop. Open packaging of the countertop and use tape to check the dimensions of the countertop meet with the dimensions of the site. Check the notch of the countertop. And use straight corner ruler to check if the obstacle at the position of the notch is straight angle. Use tape to check the tilting dimensions. In case any place needs cutting, mark the line on the notch and use corner grinder or jigsaw to cut along the line. Be careful to put on mask and gloves while grinding and cutting. Grinding of the benchmark countertop. When the cutting of the notch is over, place the benchmark side of the countertop on the base cabinet and grind with corner grinder. The worker should keep a distance from the countertop while grinding. Use grinder to grind from the back to the front. It is best the worker does not move, with one hand holding the grinder and the other hand switching on the power. The eyes of the worker, the countertop, and the grinding wheel form one line, and grinding will be vertical along this line. When the benchmark side of the countertop joins with the jointing side, in case the clearance between the splashback of the countertop and the wall is larger than 5 mm, use the following method to adjust. Place the 2 countertops tightly against the wall and put the 2 splashes back together. In this way, the 2 countertops will have clearance at the front side. Measure the clearance of the front and mark the clearance dimensions at the splashback. Mark along the front end and marks at splashback. Cut along the line. In this way, the clearance between the countertop and the wall can be eliminated to an extent. Grinding and repair of the jointing seam. Use the benchmark side of the countertop as a standard and joint it with the other countertop. As the joint sides are not flat, there will be some places to be or not to be seamed. Mark the seamless places with pencil. Use corner grinder to grind and repair until all seams are eliminated. After grinding the joint sides, use knife to remove the marks made by pencil. Then mix the glue with the hardener. According to our experience, a half cup of glue should be mixed with hardener of half spoon. Then properly mix them. Be careful that the cup and the knife should be kept clean. Jointing and adjustment of the countertop. Apply the glue to the joint seam and use knife to move and ensure the glue is applied evenly. Be careful that paper should be placed on top of the door panels to avoid glue dripping on them. In addition, pressure should be added. Then, use knife to adjust the level of the countertops on the surface and front side. When the glue becomes dry, use knife to remove excessive glue on the countertop in order to grind. Use sand wheel to grind first, and then use cutting wheel to polish until the grinding marks of the sand wheel are gone. Use sandpaper number 150, number 400, and number 1200 to sand with water until the surface of the countertop is smooth. Use polishing machine to polish. Apply wax on the countertop and polish with a polishing machine until the surface finish at the countertop joints becomes the same as other surfaces. Opening for the stove. Mark the center line for the stove on the countertop according to the center of the cooker hood. Go in 100 mm forward from the front side to mark the front line for the stove. Open packaging to take out the stove paper sample with the front side to line up with the front of the stove marked on the countertop. Use straight drill to drill holes within the line. Use jigsaw to cut opening along the line. Then, use corner grinder to repair the opening. Use 120 by 120 boards to reinforce the sides of the stove opens and use 25 boards to reinforce the 4 sides. When the stove opening has been repaired and reinforced, use 35 mm hole opener to open holes for the gas hose at the upper end of the side panel according to the position of the gas supply position and the cooker top. Insert the hose to connect with the stove. It is best that professionals undertake this job. In the next step, we will clean the wall cabinet, the base cabinet, and the countertop with brush. Afterwards, scrub with towels. Use broom to clean the floor. Next, we will introduce to you the final processes of the installation and the installation of taps. Firstly, assemble the taps and ensure they are properly sealed with no water leakage. Install the taps at the places of the sinks and tight with threads from the lower ends. Connect the water supply pipe with the taps and tighten them. The installation of taps is completed. Installation of soap extrusion. To install the drainage, pay attention to the jointing of pipes. Rubber seal should be applied to the joints to prevent leakage. Firstly, install the 2 fillers at the lower ends of the sink and connect the overflow of the bib tap. Then, connect all parts of the drainage. Install the bevel rubber ring on the joining pipes and pay attention to the directions of the rubber rings. The bottom of the big tap should level with the filler, and cutting will be required if they are too high or too low. After installation, insert the hose of the drainage into the drainage pipe. In case it is required to cut opening to install a basin above the countertop. To meet with this requirement, please refer to the processes for cutting stove opening. Installation of countertop. 1. Clean the joining seal of the countertop. 2. The vessels used for mixing the glue must be kept clean and free of dirt. 3. Make sure there is no notch at joining seal, since notch will prevent the countertop from being polished. 4. The solidified time for glue is various in different seasons. It takes approximately half an hour in summer and approximately 1 hour in winter. 5. Use corner fastener or silicone to secure the countertop with the cabinet body in order to adjust or prevent the countertop from deformation. 6. Follow the company standards to reinforce the opening area of the cooker top. 7. Go in 100 mm from the front of countertop to mark the position for the cooker top opening. 8. After inserting the drainage into the drainage hole, use silicone or sealing tape for sealing to prevent effluvium. 9. The range hood normally is located 650 to 750 mm higher than the cooker top. The bottom of the range hood should be on the same level with the bottom of the wall cabinet. 10. Place the sterilization machine into the cabinet body and secure both ends with screws. To allocate the installation and cooperate with each other is a must for the smart business operation. General procedure is the same for operation, but a little bit difference should be specified for each installation. The staff will find the privity during installation to be efficient and professional. Hereby, we give out an instance to see how the staff work together to install the kitchen cabinets. 1. Assembly of base cabinets. Open the packaging and place all panels in order. The installation technician and the workers should work together to install the jointing parts on the side panels. The installation technician should mark lines according to the dimensions of drawer front and install slide rails on the drawers. Afterward, the workers assemble the cabinet body according to the drawing. The technician will install the door on the assembled cabinet body. At the same time, the worker can install the adjustable feet seat. 2. Assembly of wall cabinet and base cabinet. The technician moves the assembled base cabinet into the kitchen and starts setting down the height for the base cabinet and to combine the cabinets. Meanwhile, the worker can start assembling the wall cabinets after finishing the base cabinets. After installing the base cabinets, the technician will start setting down the lines for stationary seat, then drill and fix the hook to install the wall cabinets. After installing the wall cabinets, the worker should clean up the kitchen. 3. Installation of the countertop. The technician and worker open the packaging for the countertop and lay the countertop on top of the base cabinet. The installation technician starts jointing the countertop, while the worker starts installing range hood after he has cleaned up all the packaging derelict. When the glue becomes dry, the technician will remove the extra at the joints. Afterwards, he will start to polish the surface. The worker will install the tap on the sink and tighten it. Afterwards, he will connect it with the pipe. After installing the tap, the technician and worker will install the drainage and the soap extrusion on the sink. 4. Adjustment and cleaning for door panels. In the next step, the technician adjusts door panels while the worker will start cleaning. When the above-mentioned processes are completed, the technician and the worker will place range hood, the sterilization machine, the stove, and the microwave at the specified positions. The installation is completed. Improper operations can affect the quality of installation and can also damage the image of the company among the customers. Every installation staff should pay attention that the following performances are not acceptable. 1. Smoking in customer's kitchen when doing installation. 2. Chatting and laughing loudly during installation. 3. Standing on countertop for operations. 4. Keeping the tools out of order to be inefficient. 5. Placing the tools on countertop. 6. Not to wear uniform during installations. 7. Bolts and nails splash around on the floor. 8. Not to do some cleaning before they leave. Repair of splashback for countertop. In case splashback is broken, Do not touch the broken edges by finger to avoid pollution. Use the same glue and condensate as what we used before to adhere the broken parts and pressure them together. When the glue becomes dry, use knife blade to remove excessive glue. Polish it with sandpaper for the first time and then use polisher and polishing wax to polish the surface. When cracks happen in the center or edge of the countertop, firstly, use the corner grinder to cut a 5 mm clearance along the crack. Then use glue, powder, and condensate to mix and fill it to the clearance. When the glue becomes dry, use knife blade to remove excessive glue on the surface. Polish it with sandpaper for the first time and then use polisher and polishing wax to polish the surface. Installation of range hoods. The distance between the range hood and the face of the stove is ranged from 650 mm to 750 mm. When the kitchen cabinet has been installed, put the hook on the cooker hood. Measure the height of the hook and mark the center line at the space saved for installing the range hood. The center of the hook is aimed at center point of the center line. Set down the position and mark the point. Secure the hook on the wall before installing the range hood. Connect the power to the range hood and install the smoke extraction pipe. There are two types of sterilization machines, which are wall hanging and built-in. In case of wall hanging, position the hook and drill holes to secure the hook on the wall. Hand sterilization on the hook and tighten with screws. In case of built-in style, place the machine in the design cabinet. Pull out the door of the sterilization machine and we can see a screw hole on each side. Apply screws to secure it. Installation of stove. Installation of the microwave. Put the microwave into the cabinet and connect power to it.